Off the Plasterer.
Good evening and welcome to
Off the Plasterer
with me, Eric Plasterer. Ah dear. Once again, I've only just got in time to not have a shower, not have me dinner, but grab a beer. Make sure you're grabbing yours, your beer that is, and yeah, sit down, put your feet up, and tonight we'll chat about usual stuff, but that will also include having a chat about Kirk Johnson, the latest internet superstar to be bouncing onto our screens and growing like lightning. But we'll chat about him in the pub when we get to the Hawk and Trout. I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer. If you've got any plastering related questions, you can ask them here. I've been a plasterer for 38 years in South London, and yeah, let's crack on. Welcome to the Community Boozer. You can ring into the studio on this number 07516 214 983, or you can text in, and you can see it along here up on the screen. I'd like everyone to be able to see what we're chatting about, and you never know, Kirk Johnson, if you're listening, might even ring in for a bit of a chat later if we're lucky. Let's see how we go. Evening James, evening Andy. Right. And everybody else who's watching, whose name's not up on the screen yet. Silver, yay! I'm pleased to say, mate, I'm finally doing okay. My phone has been so quiet up until this last week. Praise the Lord, because it went really quiet, my phone, at the end of November. I'll be honest with you guys, and I know it gets a bit quiet near Christmas sometimes and into the new year, but it's been frighteningly quiet for me over the last couple of months, and I was starting to think my phone was broken or something bad had gone down. But it turns out it was just one of those typical glitches where, yeah, the people that want my number just haven't got it, but they have now. And thankfully, I've started to book some work in, so phew, so the overdraft can go back down to hopefully back into the black as the year cracks on. Bernard, evening Bernard. Really cold weather. 3 hours 20. What was that? 3 hours 20 this morning for 3 bags of ball finish. Oh, to go off, mate. In this kind of weather, it is a bit crazy, to say the least. Especially if you're doing domestics and you're in a house and they've got a bit of heating on. And you can knock that up or down a bit. It's not so bad, but otherwise. Evening, Danny. Evening, Mike. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I hope you've got your feet up. You've sorted yourselves out. You've got yourselves a beer. Excuse me while I open mine. It's a bit rushed this evening, as usual, from me. But what can you do? This evening, we are going to have a little chat as well about Kirk. It's Johnson, isn't it? Kirk. On the trail. What a guy. Hey, evening, mate. Cheers. I'm guessing I've got my microphone on, otherwise you would have told me by now, wouldn't you? You go on here and think. Yeah. Right, let's get kind of settled in and relaxed and what have you. Trout Talk, the only Facebook group worth being on. Extra time, half time. Wow, that's amazing stuff. I never used to use additives, as most of you know, up until about 2 years ago, when I did start using this gear after Mark Shepherd sent me some. And yeah, I never looked back, mostly because I'm a bit lazy in my old age, and I like to slow my sets down just so I can go a little bit slower rather than put more on. But and thankfully also I've got a big old ceiling to do this Thursday or Friday. I'll probably do the prep Thursday and do the actual ceiling on Friday. And big old slopey job in quite a posh house. So I'm hoping the old extra tile will help me out there, as I work alone, as most of you know. But yeah, so looking forward to that one, and just pleased to be back on the trail and back at doing some flipping work. Don't get me wrong, I've been doing some plastering like to my daughter, my sister and stuff like that, and that's all good. But getting back out there with your customers and getting paid some spondoodics, there's nothing quite like it. Nothing like it. This evening I haven't got any pics or video. I didn't want to grab anything off of Kirk's channel without his permission, and I haven't had a chance to chat with him. Yeah, I just thought if you haven't seen Kirk's On the Trail YouTube channel, then it probably won't be long before you do, because the guy is smashing it out of the park. He's oh, hang on. Oh God, yeah, hang on. I'll be with you in a second. I'll just finish this little bit off. Kirk's been smashing it out of the park. He's I saw one of his early videos, which he confessed himself he was only putting them up there for kind of for posterity and for his kids to watch when they're older and stuff. But when he realised, like, he's been good at teaching, and the guy wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just yeah, we'll chat about him like a bit later on. You never know, he might get word that we're chatting about him tonight, and type in or give us a call. Right, sorry guys. James was skimming on top of sand and cement walls in a. Hang on, let's get a chat. Pop the chat box up. So it goes off the screen up and still see it. Was skimming on top of sand and cement walls in a basement. Took ages to dry and was painful. Low. Well, in the basement, mate, especially in this weather and this time of year, it's going to be pretty. Just the dampness of it all. It just everything hangs about without without doubt. Nothing like a bit of spreading in the summer when we're moaning because it's going off too quick. But there's nothing worse if you kind of try to plan your day out, what you're going to do and get done, and you slap a ball and you think, oh, I'll get that sorted in the next hour or two, and an hour or two later you can still stick your finger in it. You feel, well, that's not right. It's chemically going off, so you wouldn't think that cold or the old damp would affect its picking up time, but it obviously does. What can you do? What can you do about it? Yeah. Andy, planning on doing any more videos, mate? Well, now I'm getting back to work, Andy. I might be able to, yeah. As I say, like, work's been so quiet for me lately. Apart from the fact when I'm doing a straightforward job, there's not a lot to film. Or stuff I've filmed before, and I know you can film it again, and the guys will watch it. But yeah, I'd like to do something just a bit different or a bit exciting. But at the moment, I'm too busy watching Kirk's channel to pick up tips, even some of which I didn't know. I did know about the old dot and dabbing, but some other things I can't think off the top of my head that he's mentioned. I thought, God, that's a bloody good idea. I didn't know that. Am I buffering, mate? Oh, hang on. This is telling me I've got a bit of an issue, but it doesn't normally affect the site. But I don't. Let's have a look. If I can look in the old settings. Look. Big glasses on out. Excuse me. I'm not staring at you guys. I've got a screen in front of me that you can't see. That I'm reading to try and find out why I'm buffering. Oh, we normally have such a good stream. Yeah, I mean, I don't change anything on here. Sometimes it just says, oh, something's not right, but I haven't got a clue how to do anything with it while I'm in the middle of a live stream. Because if you try and sort something out, what normally happens is it cuts us all off, and I have to start all over again, and then this bit of recording goes up as a video, and the next minute people don't know whether they're coming or going, including me. There's a bit of buffering tonight, guys. I just have to put up with it and tell me if it gets really like silly bad. But hopefully we'll be okay. Andy, the ceiling, how big, mate, the ceiling? The ceiling is probably a 4-bag job, which for me on my own, mate, is a big. I don't normally put on more than a couple of bags, 2.5 bags for a ceiling on my Todd, on my stilts. So yeah, any bigger than that, I'm pretty sure, Danny, you'd be able to smash out a 5 or 6 bag ceiling, no problem, without putting extra time in, mate. But I'm too old now. Now I'm a big old 6'0". It's yeah, far too much for me. So no, but I'm chucking a bit of the old extra time in there. It'll be a more leisurely affair, so I won't have to, you know, maybe get it a bit panicky. As I say, it's quite a nice place I'm working in as well, and sometimes the customers are quite spot on that there's no dust going to creep through or anywhere else in the house, and so I've got to be careful of that. And yeah, but we'll see how we get on. Back with you now, Andy. Cool, mate. Cool. Yeah. No, it says on the other screen here, check your encoder settings. Your keyframe interval 1.438 recommended too. I mean, I don't know what that means either. So there's not a lot I can do about it when I'm in the middle of doing a live stream. But hopefully, it'll, as I say, it'll be okay for the rest of the night. How is everybody? Apart from, and I say, my work's starting to pick up again, but January still can be quite a quiet time of the year for a lot of spreads, or for a lot of the trades, especially spreads. James, any advice on rendering during the cold months? Is it a good idea to book the jobs in when it gets a bit warmer? If when I did used to do more rendering, James, because I tend to not do external rendering anymore, purely because of, well, mostly even in the summer, because of the unpredictability of the weather, and you know, like, and most rendering jobs outside are going to be fairly big ones, and if the week I've booked to do it, it buckets down with rain for the whole week. You know, unless you've got some really well planned out schedules with indoor jobs that you could drop onto if it rains that week, but for me that's quite an awkward thing to try and suss out and tell customers, well, you know, if I'm not meant to be on this job, I can do your job in a fortnight's time, but if this job I'm meant to be starting next week, if it's completely rained off for a week, I could start yours a week earlier, which is fine if the people are prepared for that. But if it's kind of like, well, we need to plan around you coming in 2 weeks' time, we can't really do a short notice, even though it will be quicker and better for them, maybe. So yeah, I tend to, when I was doing more outside stuff, more outside rendering, I'd only do it in the summer months, mate, because I know you can do rendering up to quite late in the year, and Mark, Leeson and the gang, a lot of their stuff is internal rendering as well. Are doing it all the time for all kind of weathers. But as I say, obviously if it's getting too cold, you shouldn't really be putting the gear on the wall, even with a frost proofer in it or whatever. It's just dodgy if you did get any kind of ice crystals on the wall itself that you're putting your render onto or whatever. Wait till the short answer, mate, is wait till it gets a bit warmer. Is your best bet, without a doubt. Well, then I thought this was a clear beer, but for some reason it's a cloudy one. But that's because I just grabbed it out of the fridge and I haven't grabbed the label. No, my luck, it's probably alcohol free. Yeah, it didn't taste quite as nice as I was anticipating. Mike, question: when skimming a painted wall, can I just PVA the wall and skim, or do I need to use any paint peeler first? I've gone over millions of painted walls, Mike, and even when it's had the old silk paint on, I've just used my classic kind of neat PVA. As most of you know, I don't bother with any of the grits. I know there's debates now about some of the grits are quite thick, and you've got to put quite a lot of gear on to cover the aggregate in it. And one that Blaine was plugging recently, which is got much finer grit in it, been a lot better. But because I've never had a problem with the PVA, and because it's cheap, that's what I keep continuing to use. And yeah, overpainted walls. But most spreads, to my knowledge, will put some kind of sealer on the wall, painted or not. You ain't got to worry about the paint unless it's flaking off or there's distemper or something like that. You've got to be a little bit careful. But other than that, no. Danny, fair play, mate. The big ceiling I've got downstairs in the open plan is around 5 or 6 bags. I think with 2 good coats, hopefully 5. Though, I'm gonna get another spread to give me a hand though. I think it's just to lay on. Yeah, well, it's the laying on part, mate. If there's two of you, you can generally bang out a big old ceiling, because on your own you should be able to knock out a fairly big size lid. And if there's two of you, apart from the fact it just takes the pressure off of you thinking, don't want to put a joint in this thing, and it's a biggie. Let's get it on and go for it. And then possibly like sweating like a pig right up to that last minute where you know it's safe. And you think, well, okay, I can chill out a bit now. It's just down to my final bits of troweling and stuff. But yeah, mate. Yeah, if you can get help, you can bung on any kind of jobs. If there's two of you, you can bung so much more gear on. If you have got a labourer and he's not busy after he's knocked up your gear, also, and you're doing your own YouTube videos of any sort, you've got yourself a cameraman as well, which in the past, which is what I got rid of my labourer once I bought a whisk back in the day, when they first were becoming popular, when I could afford one. I didn't really need my labourer because he was knocking up my gear and then just falling back to sleep on the floor because we had a heavy weekend. And but now I'm thinking, oh, if I had a labourer again, yeah, you could knock up some gear and say, here's your camera boy, I want to teach you how to become a really good cameraman. Yeah, cameraman. And so I haven't just got to lock me old the camera on a tripod or whatever. You can follow me around, and that's just a much better way to be able to film any kind of videos. But if there's a couple of you as plasterers, you don't really want your other plasterer messing about with the camera when you're trying to bash out a big job. Hey. Cheers. Danny, till another question pops up. You've been following Kirk, mate, and you're on the trowel. His editing's like on par. His content is great. I mean, he's bunging it out there. I'm just hoping that he can keep that kind of momentum going. But he's, as I say, when I saw a few of his first videos where he was starting to go for it, I think I left him a comment saying, mate, you know, your channel's gonna like rocket if you keep this kind of work up, which he has been, and it has done. And I think in no time at all he got up to 1,000 subscribers, and well, if by the end of this evening, I won't be surprised if he's got 2,000 subscribers, because he was already up to like 1,800 in no time at all. Took me a year to get him first 1,000 in. Tara, evening, darling. Ian, I love bashing out on big jobs. We're talking plastering Ian here, aren't you? Yeah. No, it's nice to sort of take on like a big scene and think, right, I can do this. And when it does come out lovely, it's you can stand back and be proud and go, yeah, wow, look at that lovely lid I've done there. And the customers, especially the customers, they vary so much when it comes to appreciating your work. I have had customers that kind of like, they come in and they kind of like, wow, you know, that's amazing. Oh wow, the room looks so different, and you kind of like, oh, you know, yeah, it does, yeah, cool, thanks. That's, you know, that's why you're paying me the big monies. And other times you do a really cracking job on something, and it's like this is a massive lid, and the customer comes in and sort of goes, well, doesn't say anything. It's just like, oh, how you getting on? All right. Oh, you've done the ceiling? Oh, good. And you kind of think, is that it? I was hoping you'd be more impressed. But it takes all sorts to make a world in the customer department. But when it comes to the old your gut feel, if you do have a look at, even if you're fairly new to the spreading, if you go to see a job and you get a bad feeling about a customer, or they're kind of telling you how long it should take and what they're going to pay, then you're best to go with your gut feel, which is probably, yeah, don't go back there, or don't quote for the job, or make up a reason why you don't want to do that particular job where you can't do it, rather than take on a job that could be hassle. But sometimes you just have to learn from experience and by the mistakes that you make. Because I'd worked for a few customers early days where I just wish I hadn't ever took the job on. But you live and learn. Right, hang on. Danny. Yeah, Top Man, really good content, proper old school methods too, I love it. He's just got a way about him. He's got his personality. He's laid back. He's relaxed. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's not scared to show a bit of feeling, you know, and how much he appreciates the subscribers and the people appreciate him, basically the stuff that they're learning from him. And he does. I mean, everyone's got their own kind of technique, and everybody watches everybody else's channels. But it's nice that the guy's come along. He's down to earth. His labourer seems to be a cracky guy and cameraman, and yeah, he's trying all sorts, and he's doing stuff by that. If you want to grow it, anyone's into YouTube channels, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, you do need to put out regular content, which I haven't done. I mean, I do this on a regular basis, but putting out videos, if you don't, then your channel's going to stagnate a little bit, or it's not going to grow very fast. It's just kind of slowly tick over. But if you put out content and it's good, and you've got a way with words, and you're slightly different to, as everybody is different, Kirk's got that gift of the gab. He's full of stories, and the things to be interesting, you've got to have some kind of story involved oftentimes, and he seems to have stories that coming out of his ears that he could tell you about whether it's his dad or his granddad or anything else. If you haven't seen his channel, his video about why he got into YouTube, that's a good watch. That's a good watch, or a good listen. Good listening. To actually need to have that one on the screen to be able to listen to it and find out why he actually started his YouTube channel. March 1100 different human species. But hey, hang on, we've got someone smart, someone clever in the community. March 7th is going to be a series. Go explore. Yeah, hey, not all white people are the same. Well, nobody are the same. No matter what colour. Native American and Asian. That's why you can get Indians and Pakistanis arguing, because they got different politics about what's going on in their countries, unless you're really up on things that have happened over the years. Then yeah, most people are fairly ignorant to the fact of what the stuff that's gone on. I was never a big history buff at school or since. Rubbish at geography. These are just two of the reasons why I became a plasterer. Oh, and if you don't include like rubbish at maths, that's another reason I became a plasterer. As compared to a bricklayer, your maths needs to be quite on board if you're a brickie. Yeah, keep it nice, March. That's a good lad. Or lass. Jamie, hopefully after 20 years we will all be as good as him. Yeah, but I've been doing it 38 years, mate, and I don't think I might be as good as Kirk. No, my plastering's up to scratch. My way with words aren't the same as his, but as I say, everybody's different. And because if we were all the same, mate, God, it would be boring. Imagine if everyone was like me. You know, it might be alright watching Ask the Plasterer live stream or the video, but if everything that came on the telly had me on it, adverts and films, documentaries, I always heard again. You'd soon get fed up. You wouldn't watch nothing, would you? Oh dear. Thanks for answering. I'm gonna play and skim the painted walls. Yeah, I'd go for it, mate. I mean, sometimes you'd have an issue, but it's so rare. As I say, I've been there's so many other possibly more pucker sealants you can put on the wall, Mike, that would maybe be better. But it's only the fact that because I've only used something that I've got used to, and because it's cheap, and it's never really let me down, apart from the odd occasion, but very rare. That was mostly like going back a long while. I just continue to use it. Doesn't mean PVA is the best bet or using it neat, but it's all I've ever done. And I did used to use it watered down, but that's when I had some issues with it back in the day. So, but now it's all good now. But yeah, go with what you want to do, or try different stuff out. right? But you don't need to take any paint off the wall or rough it up or anything. Ian, bricklayers are just plasterers with their brains knocked out. Now, mate, well, I've got to admit, I wouldn't want to be, although a bricklayer only picks up one brick at a time, so come on, how hard is that? I wouldn't want to be subject to the weather there. If you're a bricklayer, let's face it, you're not, well, most of the time you're not going to be indoors doing an inside job, which in the summer, you know, that's probably lovely, get a nice old tan, a bit like the old scaffolders do. Scaffolders as well. I mean, if I could do scaffolding in the summer, yeah, lovely job. In the winter, when the poles are frozen with like ice, like the way the weather's been lately, you kind of think, oh, I wouldn't want to be up a slippery, icy scaffold pole, or be, yeah, you can wear gloves, but yeah, that's for being a bricklayer. If it's buckling down with rain or snowing or freezing cold, and you're trying to lay bricks. No, and you know, if you're for calculating things properly, so your two corners when you build a wall across, they do actually, the bricks meet where they're meant to meet, as opposed to like, oh, this ain't gonna work. You need to be fairly good, and to be a fast bricklayer, you need a fair old bit of experience. And so, no, I mean, hats off to a good bricklayer. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't be capable. I've tried a bit of bricklaying. I can do a little bit of block work if I'm going to be plastering over it or rendering over it. But I'll build a barbecue. But I don't think if someone wanted a finished brick wall in the front garden, that's definitely not my remit. No way I would do it. No way I would do it. Hairline cracks. What do you do with them? I'll tell you what, Mike. There's not a lot you can do with a hairline crack. I do tend to say to customers if the subject of cracking comes up prior to you doing a job, that no spread can guarantee not getting a fine hairline. If you're doing a big wall especially, or a big ceiling, can't guarantee it against a fine hairline crack coming through. I mean, if a massive crack opens up, then that's something you've got to sort out, which could be down to you. I mean, if it's a ceiling and you haven't done the boarding, don't know what the timber works like underneath, then you've got to kind of explain that kind of thing to a customer before you put on a lid, or any lid really, big or small. But the most fine hairline cracks that may come through when you plaster a big expanse of wall will fill in with paint when it's decorated. But as I say, you can't guarantee against fine hairline cracking. I do generally tend to tell a customer if it's a fine hairline crack, it should just fill with paint. If it might need some fine surface filler, you don't want to suggest to them that they dig a crack out and fill it if it's a hairline crack, because it can make it look worse. And then they'll probably ring you again and want you to come back and they'll sort it out, because somehow it'll be your fault. Yeah. Danny, bricklaying, haha, I can lay brick. Yeah, but you're a talent and a half, Danny, you know what I mean? I can lay bricks, anyone can do that. You know, yours are Hughes. It's a job, mate. Yeah, I didn't think he was old enough. You probably watched the repeats, Danny. God, that was years ago, with the black stuff. Yeah, but yeah, no, Danny's he's a master of all sorts of things, and he's going to be one hell of a all-round builder, geezer, and he's still young enough to be able to do that. As well as a bit of boxing, Danny, I noticed, mate. Might think that's going to be your fitness regime. Because boxing, I've got a boxing bag out in the garden, but I've used it for a while, and then like a lot of things I do, I kind of think, oh yeah, must go and do must put the old gloves on and do a bit more boxing. Not what you'd probably call proper boxing. You think, what is that guy doing? He's hitting a bag with boxing gloves on, but he's not boxing. But if it helps to keep your weight down and it keeps your shoulders and your arms strong and your lats, which are all good for spreading and keeping fit, and for losing weight, it's quite a good thing to do. If you're not, if gyms bore the hell out of you and you're not into doing fancy calisthenic moves or anything like that. I've still got a bit of my old single malt brandy that I got for your birthday. Was it for Christmas? No, it was for Christmas. And end of January, and there's still some left in the bottle, which is good. But I'm not a boozer. Once he's gone, I won't be getting any won't be going out and buying any until someone probably buys me something for my birthday, which ain't till next September. So would be a while before I have another single malt whiskey, unless I'm around a friend's house, who's one of my mates. He's always got all sorts of different whiskies you can try. And I did have another friend I haven't seen for years. He had a wine cellar, and nothing you like more than saying, "Oh, come round and we'll try some different wines out." And you know, all free, not for me anyway. And yeah, fantastic offer that was. Yeah, I must give him a ring. Oh dear. Cheers. Evening, Lee. God, I ain't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. Richard, evening, Eric. I was doing a Arctic sealing today. Both coats tucked in straight away. Had to work like a madman. Sponge came out. Oh, mate, you had to use a sponge. Ooh. You got to do it. If it's got to be done, it's got to be done. Oftentimes, if you do get stuck on something, that sometimes is the only way to save not having to start all over again. Is to get a sponge on it and some water. But yeah, did you like put did you PVA it, mate, or put some kind of sealer on it, or? I mean, yeah, I'm a neat PVA one coat man. It's kind of water soluble, and it kind of think if you put a second coat on, it's just going to soften up the first coat. Already dry. Lee, yeah, it's been a while. Been busy with family life. But mate, no, just life in general is busy, even if it's not work related. It's like if you've got like a family and all missus and kids and stuff. Generally, quite a few younger guys just having their first kiddies, realising what a life changer that is, especially if you're a plasterer. And regarding how much sleep you may or may not get, and stuff and things like that. But you get used to it. For anyone that's in that boat or is going to be having kids at a later date, there's nothing like it. It's amazing. But and after the first one, the rest aren't. They work, but they're not the same initial culture shock as your first kiddie. It's something else. Yeah, mate. Mark, get some single malt whiskey in Edinburgh. I will, mate. Well, when my daughter Sarah, when she went up to Arran, brought me some stuff back from there. But they were just like small samples of 3 different ones, I think. One of them in particular was nice. And but yeah, when we were in Edinburgh, mate, how many can you ask your phone or work out how many days we've got left before the Edinburgh trip, mate? It's getting a bit more exciting now. We're into we're almost through January. Apart from just in case you've forgotten, guys, that old tax bill's got to be sorted by the end of the month. If you haven't done it already, I still need to get back in there and push the submit button. I don't know why the missus didn't push it at the time, but she said, "Oh, I haven't submitted it, so you have to go back on there and submit your thing and pay it." I don't mind submitting the tax form, it's the paying it bit I'm not so keen on. Yeah, single malt whiskey is lovely. It's lovely. And I'm looking for. I say, yeah, I should buy a bottle of while we're up there, but I might have the odd one in the boozer, but I'm not going to pay through the nose. A teeny weeny little shifter of it in the bar. I think I'll stick to the old beer when we're up there. But I am, yeah, it's getting more exciting. I'm looking forward to it immensely. Still time whether it's because it's so much, seems to be so much cheaper to get up there on a plane from London rather than Stansted or somewhere, rather than. I like to take a sleep the night before, but it's quite a lot of money comparatively, compared to jumping on a plane. Hang on. Richard, yeah. Oh, yeah. PVA like normal. It was the powder type Artex. I've come across them before. Pulls in quick. Is it? I'll tell you what it might have been, mate. That Artex had never been painted. because it is very powdery in it, and will suck like a pig if it's not been painted ever before. And I have been on jobs where there isn't any paint up there. Actually, if there is no paint on it, you can literally wet it with a steamer and scrape it off. Not that you want to be messing about with scraping something that might have asbestos in it. Even if it might not kill you, you know, it's just not worth the chance. I used to scrape it off, and then I don't anymore. If I can help it, I'll go over it. 9 times out of 10, I'll bond over it and or skim it. But yeah, if it was a bit powdery, then I think it probably wasn't painted. And then yeah, that will definitely suck in a bit of the old PVA when you chuck it on. Plus, it depends how dry. Yeah, just generally how dry it is, or how warm it's been in the room. Some people have their heating on fairly silly high. Because they might have some member of the family that always feels the cold, and the ceiling, especially if it's not painted Artex, it would dry out like I don't know what. Right, do I need a passport for Edinburgh? I don't know, mate. I think you do if you're jumping on a plane. You need something, a form of a proper ID to go through the checkout. Or you did the last time I took a plane to Aberdeen, I think it was, which was donkeys ago. So I don't know if the rules have changed. But it's kind of like, oh yeah, you don't need a passport to go to Scotland, obviously, because it's not part of the UK. But then you go in an airport and it's going, well, it's part of the protocol. It's an airport. When you get on off this plane, we need ID, and ideally your ID will be your passport. But I think you could actually use a proper driving license with a picture, because I've still got the old one that's another picture. And yeah, so you laugh, mate. But I think you might need, if you're going on the plane, you might need a passport with you for some reason to get through. But I'm not 100%, so don't quote me on that one. What do you do when you have tape and join? Or how do you mean, Lee? What do you do? What do you do when you have? Oh, no. What do you do? Oh no, hang on, that's actually off. Hang on, sorry guys, I'm behind with the questions and stuff. Right, single malt, yeah, PVA, powder type, that's Richard, Mark, 107. 107 days, Mark. 107 days, guys, before our lovely trip to sparkling town of Edinburgh, where we're going to meet up. Similar to here, only there'll be more of us. I think there's definitely 18 or 20 people that have gone down on the definitely going list, so that's cool. We do have a WhatsApp group. I think it's a group via Trail Talk on the Messenger, where we can all like chat to each other there about what we're doing, how we're getting down there, if anyone can catch a lift off someone else and pay towards petrol, if anyone's going to be getting a train or plane, or any bargains that might come up, or where we're going to actually stay, because we're staying different places probably when we get there, depending on if there's anywhere left to be able to book in. If anyone doesn't know, we're going on from the 10th of May this year. We're meeting up in Edinburgh for a spreads meet up. A lot of us will be the first time we've actually met each other in the flesh, which will be, yeah, it'll just be a hell of a crack. And we're going to do it for 3 or 4 days. Some guys are staying the weekend, some are staying longer because they've got relatives up there. But either way, it'll be good. Lee, when you go to plaster the tape and joint, what do you do for the prep? Same as we always with the PVA. But anything loose, take it out. If there's anything loosely, if there's anything loose, yeah, take it out. Plaster with tape and joint. I think I know what you're asking. Any kind of work I do, there's a tape and a joint involved. Well, some guys do it the other way. I think Stuart does it the other way around. Or somebody does. I mentioned it recently. Put their tapes up. It might have even been Kirk. And then PVAs. What I tend to do is, because I let my PVA dry and I put it on neat, I tend to PVA everything first over any joints if they need it that've got tape on, or going to have tape on, and then I'll put my tape on. It sticks lovely to some gone off neat PVA. Whereas if it was a little bit dusty and your tape might not stick quite as well as it could, but if you nick PVA up there and it's gone off, then and you picked out any loose stuff, then the tape sticks lovely. So I tend to PVA everything and then stick my beads up with the old mitre glue. It only takes 5 seconds a bead or so. And then stick all my tapes up and then get cracking with the old whisk and off you go. I'll make sure I don't miss anybody's lead. The boys. Oh, what's that? Sorry, Dan, I missed that. Yeah, mate, a bit before my time. Boys from the Black Stuff, but I love it. Oh, my best mate. Why my best mate? Out plastering now though. Yeah, back in training. Now I've got to lose 3 stones to get the old Tony Rock done. Yeah, no, go for it, mate. Get that, drop that weight, do plenty of boxing, and yeah, get that off out of the way, mate. It's better to have them things done when you're younger. Like I said, I had a double, like one of them bilateral hernia things, well over 25 years ago, and I've never had any problems since. I'd hate to have to do it like now I'm older. Plus those things just get bigger and bigger if you don't sort them out. They say, yeah, you can leave them, but I've seen geezers that look like they've got an alien coming out of their t-shirt and they go, oh yeah, I've got an hernia, but I've never had it sorted. It's just got bigger. It's basically your intestines hanging out your front, ooh, just under your skin. Anyway, that bit. Sorry guys, bear with me. Chat amongst yourselves. What's that answer to? The boy is 3 and the girl is 13 months. Oh, right, mate. Oh, yeah, family. Okay, got it. I'll definitely let my match is completely different. Right off. Oh, dear. Yeah, no. When you got the kid, mate, it's great, but it's hard work. It's hard work. But some people love having kids. Have you ever thought that programmer, those that woman and old man, they've got about 22 kids now, I think, and they got a pie business or something, or a farm, and they just love having kids. But it's just every day is just like them. I think when I go out to buy enough bread just to make sandwiches for the packed lunches, it's like 20 loaves of bread every day. And you kind of think, apart from the money it costs, but obviously they can afford it. And I think, I don't want to spend a whole day prepping sandwiches for your 22 kids, or ironing, or whatever else it is they do. But some people just love it. Because you know this myself, if I'm honest, not that many kids. And I thought I did want 4 kids when I was younger, but after when I got to 2, I thought, oh, that's more than enough. Lovely having 2 daughters, yes. We need passport for 3 months 18 days to live. 3 months 18 days, lovely, lovely. You could not need permission from Jamie, of course. Sorry guys, I'm a bit behind. When you get a plaster tape, enjoy it. Alright, yeah, alright. Jamie, I'm running for the hills. The English are coming. Yeah, there'll be a lot of English geezers in Edinburgh that week. I'm definitely going to Scotland, Eric. Nice one, mate. We need to confirm. Do I need to confirm this on Troutle? Oh, you don't, mate. It's just if you do, we just know there's someone else that's definitely going. Unexpected to sort of see you and you're going, oh, James is coming. Yeah, it's just nice to know you might be turning up. But no, you can turn up off your own back completely without telling anybody you're coming, mate. As long as you can get there when we're all there, and you got some kind of contact, so you can ring one of us and find out what boozer we're in, and when we're meeting up and what we're doing. Then yeah, but no, it'd be nice if you can go on Trout Talk, mate. You should be able to find it on there, or links to it. I think Mark's moved it up to somewhere where it's easier to click onto and stick your name down. Yeah, Jamie, Iron Maiden will be playing in a minute. Mark, oh, it's in it, right? Yeah, it's in events at the top left of the Trout Talk page, James. 1 kid is enough for me. Yeah, Danny. Yeah. Lee. Yeah. How does he afford that? He just sells pies. Are we doing something wrong? Yeah, I think he's got like a pie company or something. I think I've only watched it once, and I thought, because initially I thought, are they like not working and just got a massive family, and there's not a job that would kind of cover the kind of money they need to earn, look after them all. But they do have a business that they run. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's some kind of pie making business, and which is obviously quite a successful one. To be honest, because I think one of the program I did catch, they were moving from a smaller factory to a bigger factory. But how he's got time to make pies when you've got 22 kids? I mean, obviously the oldest one is about 22, and the youngest one's about 1, or she's just had another one. But our per body takes it, mate. I've no idea. But yeah. Well, perhaps rather than spreading them, we'd be better off with making pies and selling them, of course, not just making them and eating them. Because don't get accused of eating all the pies, do we? It's no. When you're not at the football. Yeah, I mean SBR is meant to be pucker, mate. I've only ever used SBR when a customer's had it, and he's going, "Oh, I've got some SBR. Do you want to, I'm not going to use it. Do you want to use that on my wall?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" I haven't had to pay for it. And SBR is meant to be better for, I'm sure for the specific reasons. I tell you, Kirk will know. From On the Trail. I think he mentioned recently, I think he was talking about that. Or was it Blaine? Oh, I forget, mate. I forget. There's so many plasterers on YouTube. I'm never sure which one I'm watching about what when. But SBR apparently is better than using PVA. It's a bit more expensive. Well, I say a bit more expensive. I think it's quite a lot expensive. But yeah, I think if it was in debate, then technically SBR is a better quality thing to put on the wall. But as I say, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As long as everyone's staying up there. It's varied, Mike, who's staying for how long. I say some of the guys have got family up there. I think Mark's daughter lives up there, so I think he might be staying for the week or whatever. I will probably need to get back before my missus goes, how long are you going for? Yeah, PVA is about 14 quid now, ain't it, mate, for 5 litres or a gallon? Yeah, it was around £8 or £10 again. It like finished for so long, sort of 5 or 6 quid. Now like the finish is £12-13, isn't it? Even the cheap PVA is 14 quid, so technically it's not cheap anymore. But I know SBR. If SBR was quite expensive before, then I've no doubt SBR will probably be a lot more gone up as well. Yeah, one it's working for me. I'll stick to just splashing out the 14 quid for the PVA as opposed to whatever much else the others is. Danny, SBR is all I use now. That converted me. Fair enough, mate. 1 thick coat is all you need. It's lovely stuff. Yeah, I only ever use 1 thick coat of PVA, Danny. But yeah, if I did just start using SBR, if someone else was buying it and giving it to me, I'd probably go, you know what? Yeah, all these years I've been using PVA, but I think I'm preferring the way this goes on, or how quick it dries, or whatever. I don't suppose that's got to happen. But yeah, I mean, when the money's rolling in a bit better, I might go, let's get a few gallons of SBR and start using that and see if I'm going to go over to it completely, if it's that much better. Mark, I'm going Tuesday till Saturday. Tuesday's the 9th. That's the 9th mark, isn't it, I think? Going through to Saturday. I mean, by the time you have paid to go up there, especially if like me, if I do go up there on the train, pay for that and pay for accommodation. And normally if I'm in accommodation, if you stay a bit longer, it tends to be cheaper than if you only want a couple of days or so. So I might stay I was anticipating going there on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Probably going home on a Saturday myself. I don't think I'd stay any longer than that. But who knows? Again, it depends also what kind of return I'm getting, if it's on a plane or on a train. Jordan, evening Jordan. It all makes the SBR the same. The DIY shop near me is selling it for $10.99. I'm not sure if it's the same as the deer stuff. If it's called SBR, mate, then it technically should be the same. But I don't know. I don't know the different brands wise whether some of them might be a little bit inferior or not have the same kind of amount of ingredients in it. But I'm not 100%. If it's $10.99 and it would appear to do the same job as any other SBR does, then yeah, that's a bargain, mate. It's so cheaper than PVA. Danny, if you get the 25 litre drums off Amazon or eBay, works out under £14. Is that are you talking SBR there, Danny, as opposed to PVA? We're talking PVA. I would have thought old Amazon wouldn't like delivering something as heavy as SBR. Oh, fair enough. Does that mean presumably you're topping up your little bucket at home and taking that in? Excuse me. As opposed to taking the whole like 25 litre drum in your motor back and forth, because all that extra weight, don't forget, uses more fuel. Yeah, I thought when it comes to like heavier stuff, I don't know. Well, Amazon obviously deliver it, but I thought they'd be a bit more like, you know, you're gonna have to charge you quite a bit for delivery of that stuff because it's so flipping heavy. But yeah, I'll look into that, Danny, on the old Amazon. Obviously via the Trout Talk shop, mate. Got to help it out. Got to help the Trout out. Got to help the old page out. How's your motor, Eric? All good. Yeah, I think the last issue I had with my work motor was I broke the key, wasn't it, in the blooming in the lock, and then was stupid enough because I thought it was quite an old motor to use a club hammer and a screwdriver to get into the barrel and break it enough to be able to turn it on. But I discovered that wasn't a possibility by the time I wrecked the barrel. Still couldn't turn it on, and then discovered that even the motor as old as that particular one, it still has a like a copper ring around where you put the key in, and if the key's not there and it did turn, it ain't gonna start. Because even an old key like that looks like a plain old key, it's got some kind of programming in it. So but I got that sorted. Oh right, okay, mate. Yeah, I'll tell you what though, guys, if anyone that wants to buy a Sleeker electric blue or a the Mazda soft top electric blue, well, with a lovely blue, whether they're actually electric blue or not, I don't know, but like metallic blue, they're both going to be going up for sale because the missus is too expensive to run. I don't think the Mazda will be ULEZ compliant after August. That means it costs £12.50 a day to go out in it. Unless you live outside of the area or this part of London, or if what's the other thing? Or if the councils here are having a bit of an argument with City Car at the minute about not wanting to introduce it in August here, and because for a lot of the guys, they're old work motors, they're not going to be ULEZ compliant after August. You need to check that up on the old site, and it will tell you straight away, yeah, it's not a problem, or no, you're going to have to pay £12.50 whatever a day after August in those areas. But yeah, the missus is getting a fairly reasonable second-hand electric motor. I'll still have my work motor, which is ULEZ compliant after August, thankfully, for the time being anyway. And so yeah, we're getting rid of the others because the running costs of having ridiculously too many cars basically is silly. So as much as I love them, I'm getting to that age now where, you know, the posing bit I'm not so fussed about anymore. So I think I'm getting over the midlife crisis of having a soft top. Because I always swore blind when I was younger and I saw old geezers or looked old to me, probably younger than I am now. And I think, oh god, what's he look like, that old bloke in that soft top car? He thinks he's some kind of cool trendy bloke, or thinks he's having a midlife crisis. I thought, well, yeah, and then if people look at you when you're in that motor, you go, oh no, there's a fella having a midlife crisis with his soft top sports car. But a lovely motor to have in the summer, in the winter, because they're rear wheel drive as well. And if you did go out in the snow in a rear wheel drive motor, a snake like that. Because most motors now are front wheel drive, which pulls the car rather than pushes it from the back. For any of you that are not technically minded when it comes to motors. Oh yeah, a couple of motors up for sale, guys. Reasonable price. Danny, it goes a lot further SBR2 as it's so thin. I won't be going back now, never. Well, blimey, mate, you know, you've tempted me to definitely give it a go, Danny. After all these years of using PVA, it does mean that PVA industry might go completely down the pan. You know, cost of living crisis. Eric stops buying PVA and using it neat, and it's moved to SBR. SBR, the shares will go up. Yay! And when you look back, it'll again be down to Kirk. Hello, Kirk. I did ask Kirk to come on past the Plasterer at some point in the summer, and which he is up for. But then his recent video more or less covers his whole history of plastering, his life in general, and why he started the channel, and how much money he makes from it. Like me and Stu. Whoa. You wouldn't retire on it or give up work on it, that's for sure. Not unless you've got 100,000 plus subscribers, and then you can maybe consider, if you get plenty of watch time, maybe consider doing it full time. But then you couldn't do plastering videos if you stop plastering. It may be on some of them, but the particular one I'm on about was free delivery. Oh, right, okay, mate. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to miss anybody's questions. My daughter tells me off when I accidentally skip past something someone said or asked. So yeah, on the motor front, guys, my motor's ticking over at the moment. It hasn't frozen up due to the lack of antifreeze or anything silly like that, and still getting me from A to B. But I am a bit nervous because I'm using two keys now: one to get in the door and the petrol cap, and one to start the engine because it was cheaper to have that kind of. And the locksmith did the whole thing for I think 120 quid. Got me a barrel from eBay. He said you can have a pucker one, or I can get you one off eBay a lot cheaper. And fit that, which he did. No, I only wanted to be able to start the car and get from A to B. But I'm a bit nervous. The one for the door, they're quite long and quite thin, and I'm a bit worried I might snap that one off. In which case I'll be a bit in stuck if that happens. Other than that, the motor's going fine. Apart from occasionally my back door jams up, and I have to disconnect the battery and then reconnect the battery and then it'll open. Dear, the joys of having an old motor. Right, sorry, what was it? Right, goes a lot further. SBR, that's Danny talking about the old SBR. Do you use the SBR the same way? Let it dry, then go. I think so, mate. Yeah. I've never, I say even with like PVA, the only time I've ever had an issue with it is when I either watered it down or I went over it when it was tacky, and I had sliding issues. Never had a sliding issue with neat on off PVA and off PVA stuff. I think you do it with SBR as well. A week before you're doing a job, and then still go back and then go over it, and it works absolutely a treat. Danny, yeah, let it dry, mate. Oh, yeah, there you go. And even do it the night. Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't do it the night before, Danny, then I wouldn't be buying SBR. Danny, only thing I'll say about SBR is that if you get it on any windows or anything, get it off straight away, as when it dries, it's a pain to get off. Same with your hands and arms too. But you know what, mate, I might stick with the PVA. At least you can kind of get to the end of that and kind of feel it off your skin. Yeah. Lee, what's the earliest you've jumped on the SBR? I want to try, but scared can have a goose have a yeah, as Danny says, I think it's probably best to let it go off completely, mate, and not jump on it while it's still rubbery. Potholes awful at the moment. Gone through a few times late in the transit. Yeah, Richard, the blooming, it's because of the cold weather, mate, and then it warmed up, didn't it? And that's when all the potholes start popping open. You go from like, oh, the road's not bad, or there might be one pothole over there, to suddenly you're going along the same road out of roughly where you live, and then bang down you go down a biggie, mate. Apart from it making you swear, and you think, you know, what's that just done to my motor or my suspension or my tyre if it hasn't suddenly gone down flat? It's mad. So yeah, keep an eye out for the potholes, guys. But don't stop to fill one in on a busy road if you happen to have some Palmer Cadam on the back. Lee, what's your earliest you have jumped? Oh, sorry, I read that one, mate, already. But yeah, potholes, guys. Watch out for potholes. What's the time? Oh, 8:03 already. God, time flies when you're having fun. I can have my shower after. And I've only been doing a little bit of indoor rendering today. Some waterproofing under in a bay window. So that's. I didn't get too messy or dusty. Richard might start bonding out potholes too. Yeah, why not, mate? Why not? I think a bit of render would last a while. A bit of sand and lime in, or something a bit more aggregate than sand with some lime in it. Back that in the old potholes temporarily. If old Rod Stewart can do it, mate, then why can't we? Why should we be doing the council job when they charging council tax for that kind of thing? I'm gonna jump on it when it's. Yeah, I want to jump on it when it's dry. Leave it doesn't take long, much quicker than anything. We'll see. I'm still gonna get a gallon, Danny, and shove it on the wall and see how quickly it does actually dry. Because I know a lot of the guys that use the grit, I didn't realise sometimes when they're especially blue grit, apart from it being as big as it apparently is, but you've got to put a fair bit of gear on it to cover it, that it takes ages to go off, or it's probably good to leave blue grit 24 hours, 12 or 24 hours before you go over it. You don't want all that messing about. So yeah, PVA or SBR. I'll try the SBR on the next skim job and see how quick it goes off, and I'll give you my honest opinion here at Ask the Plasterer of what I think of it. So it isn't water soluble, so it doesn't re-emulsify after application. PVA does. That's true, Mark. Yeah, that's what. Well, it might have been you that said that, Mark. Actually, someone else was asking. But yeah, it doesn't do that. It doesn't re-emulsify after you put it on, but PVA does. But because I only put on one quick neat cut of PVA anyway, I'm not going back over it. Although obviously when you put plaster on it, you could technically say that the water in the plaster is then wetting up the PVA. But however it works, it works for me. But yeah, you won't get that as any kind of issue with SBR. Richard, your next video trying out SBR. Well, it could, mate. I mean, people might go, oh. But yeah, what I might do actually is do two sections of the same wall. Yeah, it might be two different sections of wall, just in case it goes a bit pear-shaped, because it will be for a customer. And try out like SBR, putting on neat PVA, how quick either one goes off. And yeah, great idea, Richard, for a video. Because sometimes as I say, you know, I'm just doing an ordinary skimming job, and you kind of think, well, you know, there's so many skimming videos out there, and I've done plenty of them myself. What's the point in doing another one exactly the same? But it's about comparing SBR to PVA. Yeah, good call. Leon, yeah, we'll have you, Richard. You try it and let us know how you get on. Yeah, we'll give it a go. I will definitely try it now. One thing, PVA, not PVA, SBR. What's SBR stand for? I've been told before, but my memory's not great. Cheers, guys and girls. Can't see a thing now. I only need glasses for I can't for long distance, and I don't need glasses on. So I need them for reading stuff. Because when I'm in front of this thing, I can read this. Why it's so big? I made it big, especially so I can read it. But some of the smaller stuff I have on my computer screen, well, I can see it, but it's just easier to see it with glasses. And you see these? These are, I've got some like pound store glasses, and these ones are actual prescription glasses. They've got a little bit scratched, and what you can't do with these ones is shut the arms. Oh god, it's been a while. I stood on them and completely snapped one of the arms off, and actually over time I must have snapped both off because they're both like you can't shut them. But what did I fix them with? Mitre glue, an accelerator, fantastic. Knob on there, keep the thing down. Hey! And I can see really well out of these ones compared to my pound shop ones. Just so, little glasses fixing tip there. In the middle of sticking on some beads if you're using the old mitre glue. Instead, now you whip, yeah, I broke my glasses. Oh, what am I going to do? Aha! Mitre glue. Sorted. But just don't accidentally try and fold them up, otherwise you'll just snap them off again. Styrene butadiene. That's how you say it, I think, mate, isn't it? Rubber. Oh yeah, yes it is. I do love a bit of styrene butadiene rubber. No wonder it's drawn to SBR. And you go, oh, what do you do? What do you prep your walls with? Oh, styrene butadiene rubber, mate, every time. Goes off like a cracker. And yeah, it's not water soluble, so that's really good. Yeah, SBR. Oh, cool. Thanks, Danny. Yeah. Yeah. No, I did. Where things were being a bit quiet for me, I'll tell you what I did do with a bit of advice from Stu Roberts Troutle. Is I put my company business as a plasterer onto Google, like a Google business. I don't think it was just called Google then. And used it for a while, and then because I didn't really need it regarding work, I never kind of updated it. And I went back on it a while back, like before Stuart mentioned it to me, and I thought, and I tried searching for myself, see if it would come up on the Google business, and man, I was nowhere to be found. And I opened up my Google business, and I don't think it's had my old address on, which I moved out of 20 years ago or more. But it sort of said, oh, something like 15 years or 20 years plastering. I thought, bloody hell, I've been plastering for 38. And it's the last time I've updated it. So I took Stuart's advice and I updated the whole thing. Went back to a few of my old customers and said, can you stick some like post reviews from when I did do your plastering, so I can get some reviews up on there, which they very kindly did. The people that remember to do it, and I think that's had a great deal to do with me. I mean, apart from the fact that when I search myself now, I am coming up at least in the Google business lists for my sort of part of London and Surrey, and so that's a godsend. So thanks, Stuart, for that bit of advice. And yeah, if any of you other guys, because it's free, I mean, you can pay for Google Ads, but I've done that in the past once, and it's very expensive for the results that you do or don't get. You tend to get a lot of people who click on you're doing a pay-per-click thing. A lot of people are clicking, and you're not even getting a phone call or an inquiry at all. And you're kind of thinking, yeah, is that a proper customer or is that some robot just like picking away on your money for your ads? So I knocked that one on the head. But Google Business or Google My Business is free, so if you're not using it, there's no good reason why not to. And you can link websites to it if you've got a website and all that kind of stuff. So I'll put that out there. And say for some guys, even this time of year, because we're still only just sort of into January, a lot of people are still kind of like, oh, getting over Christmas, the New Year, and the planning stuff for the springtime. You're kind of not even thinking until spring kicks in, and suddenly when your phone can go really mad, and there's not enough of you to go around to fit all the jobs in when people want them doing. So I've actually said to a lot of customers or potential customers that I'm trying. I know the prices are up and down like a yo-yo, but more up than down. I'm trying to plan out my diary and be able to price stuff up on jobs, depending on the kind of job it is, through the year, so that people, whatever dates they want, they can have, and I can put a quote in or an estimate in for their the job they want doing. And I'm quite happy for a customer to ring me up and say, like, I've got a job I want to do in May. Can you come and have a look? Give me an idea what it's going to cost, and sort that out and try and fix down an actual date. Maybe take a small deposit, just so they keep that date. But hey, it's going to be busy later on in the year anyway. It's going to be a massive issue. So James, looking to buy a new light this month. Any recommendations? Yeah, that one, the one Stuart's plugged on the on Trout Talk. Also Richard Welfare. He's lights he uses to make absolutely sure that his spray plaster is puckaroony, and is worth all the money he charges to do it. God bless him. Good on you, Rich. Well done, mate. But I'm not sure which one Richard uses, but we can find out. I should probably have to look it up actually. Rich Welfare. If you go onto his channel, one of his and quite recent videos, I think, what to say about the kind of lights that he uses, or the globe one that Stuart, and also I think recently Alex Morley uses. I don't know if it's the globe one or something very similar, but it's worth having a look at them, see what prices they're going for. And but if you're going to get anything that's available on Amazon, again, you'd be really helping out Trout Talk if you use the Trout Talk shop online, Amazon, and do the Amazon order through that, and then Trout Talk, Stu will get a bit of a kickback that you can put back into Trout Talk as a channel and as a Facebook group, just to help improve it even better than it is already, if that's possible. I mean, the good news coming back about Trout Talk and comments from women especially as well, which is a major thing, about them feeling comfortable to be able to be on there and to chat about plastering and get advice from lovely guys like us, as opposed to some knobhead. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. James, Mark, the one Stuart has is Faithful Illuminator. That's it, the Illuminator. Faithful's the brand, isn't it? That is on the Trout Talk shop via the Amazon. So yeah, easy to go on there and order anything you like, actually. There'll be a small kickback on it, which is good. Oh, 8:17, guys. We'll go on till about 8:30, and then I'll go and have a nice shower, and we might even have a bit of a shave as well. I don't want my customers to think I'm some kind of just sleep in the doorway of an evening. Turn up at their house the next day to do a bit of plastering. Oh dear. Cheers. What else can we chat about, guys and girls? Grow a beard. I tell you what, mate, I'm looking a lot older than a beard. And I got one of those faces. See, I'm gifted up here to try for me to grow a beard. I tell you, it grows really well. Here, there, and there. Here and here, forget it. And trust me, unless you grow the bit you can really long and try and kind of spread it around a bit, it's yeah, I can't grow a beard, a decent beard to save my life. And it didn't quite suit me, but it does make you, or especially me, there's a lot of grey in it, obviously. Make me look a hell of a lot older than one of my sisters. And she saw I was growing, she went, "Shave that bloody beard off, you look ancient." Which was true. So yeah, and due to the fact I can't grow one, at least that's good for like I only have to shave every other day. You know, it come for a teeny bit, but not enough to think, oh yeah, I'll shave again today. So that's good. Whereas a mate of mine, he could shave twice a day without a problem, because he's got such a big. He can grow a beard down here in like a week, no problem. But the rest of his body is covered in there like a gorilla. So yeah, that's the downside of being able to grow a really big beard quickly. Generally means that your hair grows like that all over your body. Yeah, which I could do without, mate. Especially if I'm posing at the gym. Oh dear. Yeah, don't be too. I wouldn't want to. I don't suffer with a hairy back. Put it that way. Oh dear. Yeah. So thanks, Rich. But yeah, I've been there, done that. I won't be doing it again. Oh dear. Bad enough being 60 without looking 80. But thankful to be an old geezer, to have some kids and to have grandkids as well is a blessing. So if you're one of the older guys out there, don't worry. It's nice. It's a privilege to be able to still be alive as you get older and enjoy the things that you can only enjoy if you get older. And make the most of it. Only the faithful dome light got his top of mind. Got one myself. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, it does seem to be a good light. I can't recommend it from a personal. I haven't got one. But should have done a video on it. I think they're great. So Danny's got one. So pardon me. Only thinks it's pucker. So definitely a good recommendation for a light. Yeah, we've got one as well, don't you, like so. Yeah, this is if Mark's got one as well. Mark and the gang. If Mark and the gang use a faithful light, mate, then I would go for it. Because they're often in quite dark rooms, and it's all like internal rendering, which is of course very dark. So if a light lights up the areas they're working in, then it's definitely worth having for sure. Jeff, hello Jeff. Question, got a lean-to porch, single skin, it's freezing in there. Oh yeah, I bet it is. Skin has mould in places and there's cracks, so I'm planning to take back to brick and start again. What can I use to insulate? You can buy, again it depends what kind of thickness you've got to work with regarding what kind of seals or whatever, or shelves you've got, if you've got shelves in there. You can buy all different types of insulating boards, plasterboard, different thicknesses of cheaper. Oh, I say the cheaper one. Sometimes they're polystyrene. There can be a very black, dense stuff you buy. They vary in price. Obviously, they go from cheaper to more expensive, and obviously the more expensive ones are meant to do a much better job of insulating, even if they are thinner than maybe a thicker polystyrene one. Polystyrene is quite pucker because one thing I did used to do on sites, when I worked on building sites, there was polystyrene around and you want to sit down. Most building sites, the grounds are concrete, lumpy concrete, because they've got finished floors, and sit on a bit of polystyrene. Well, you can feel your own warmth that you're generating on polystyrene. So yeah, that's quite a cracker. So polystyrene backboards, or different backboards that are insulated. You can, there's different ways of fixing it to the brickwork. They can be use screw fixings on them. You can dot and dab the thing, or dab the thing onto the wall, and then just tape the joints and skim that, do your beads as usual. And obviously that insulation will make it a lot warmer than if it's just a skimmed single brick skin, which, yeah, in this kind of weather, any kind of cold exterior wall you've got, especially if you've got something up like close to it, the chances of it getting black mold on it are like 90%. So yeah, so that's probably your best bet, Jeff. End of the day. Danny, yeah, nearly blinded me. Is that right? Oh, that's good, mate. If you're buying a light, you want one that's blindingly bright. As long as it shows up what you're working on. Only thing, like the Stuart pointed out, is if you're filming, you get flicker on it because of the amount of hertz. I think 60, 70 hertz. You need to not have a flicker when you're videoing something. Oh, depending what anyone that gives a damn. Depending what kind of frame rate you're using on your video camera. If it's a very fast one, then you're probably okay. If it's too slow, you'll see a flicker, or the other way around on the light when you're using it. If you're just using it for working too, then fantastic. If it nearly blinds Danny, it's got to be good. Yeah, I think he's blinds bad. Only kidding, mate. No worries, Jeff. No worries. Mark, need to put it up on the ceiling. It's on the floor. It's like a fashionable boulder. Yeah, I suppose if you can, it's like any lights, isn't it? It's getting it where you want the thing. If you want it up on the ceiling, if you've got some way of hanging it up there, or propping it up there, or whatever. I mean, the lights I use. Actually, I just use another halogen and another. Not battery operated ones, but the ones that don't get hot, the cold ones that are more economical and kind to the planet and all that stuff. They come. I've got one of the videos on it actually. I think it's called the best light tripod I've ever seen. And the thing goes up in the air, and you can either have it as a tripod light, or you can stretch the pole out on a spring, and it pings tight to the ceiling and the floor, and then you can clamp these lights on it any way around you want. But that's not the faithful Illuminati, I was going to say, not the faithful illuminator light. Mark, hook on it for hanging up. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's got to be something I need to stick the hook on though, Mark, isn't it? If you're on jobs where you've got cables hanging down, you can presumably hang it or wrap a cable around the hook to hold it. Yeah, Jamie, I've got my halogen is over 300, 400 or 500 watt. So, apart from the fact it obviously must burn a fair bit of electricity, it is lovely and warm in the winter. But then you can warm your hands, or you can put it in front of you and warm yourself up a bit with the other ones. They're nice and bright, but they don't emit any heat at all. So yeah, they make a great heater as well as a light, I have to admit, which is probably the reason I like it. My halogen one. nice and toasty. Even warm up the cuppa on it. Have to be careful not to melt stuff on the front of them, and they can shatter if you do drop a cold bit of plaster onto the hot glass. But they still work. The amount of glass on the front of those halogen ones that I've shattered when they're red hot, and I've plopped some cold old finish on them, they've gone pew. But the bulbs generally still work even without any glass in the front. Yeah, and yeah, in the summer though, Jamie, they're not so nice. If it's cooking hot anyway, and you've got a halogen 500 watt glowing, you know, think, oh man, and the heat from that's going on the ceiling, especially if you're skimming the ceiling. And you've got a halogen heater more or less. All that heat rising up to the top, and on a hot sunny day in a conservatory. How much you won't really need to light the conservatory, hopefully. If it's the summer, it's going to stay light till quite late, not as it is at the minute where it feels like it's time to go home by 3 or 4 o'clock. Mind you, I know a lot of guys do go home at 4 o'clock. I rarely managed it, even if I start at 8, but James, skimmed the big ceiling today, was using the spring skin. Oh lovely, you can't beat a spring skin. Was using, hang on. Skimmed the big ceiling today, was using the spring skin. The pole was lovely, flattening. It was so quick. It's been a while since I've used. Now that's a nice thing, mate. The fact you can get the stuff on, which any plasterer would probably tell you. The quicker you can get the gear on the wall, then you can mess about with it after. Especially for any DIYs that are watching or people that are new to plastering or going to give it a go. The part of the secret is not play around with your plaster on the hole or the bit you put on the wall. Try and smooth it quite nice. Get it on the wall. If you get the knack of getting it off the trowel and getting it on there, then you can, especially now with speed skims, get the stuff on there as flat as it's possible for you to do depending on your experience, and then just run that old plastic blade speed skim up, down, left, right. And apart from maybe one line you might get, got a decent length speed skim, yeah, you're good to move on to the next bit, and you can drop back to that later, because there's hardly you know, most of your flattening's been done, so then we're ready for your second coat when you go back. Right, hang on. Someone asked me to use multi-finish that's 3 months out of date. Is it hit and miss? How workable when it's out of date? If I have used stuff that's been months out of date with no problem. The only time it's an issue is where it's been stored. If it's been stored somewhere damp or stored somewhere really hot, both of those can have an effect on fresh plaster. If it's an old bag and it's got damp and then dried out, it will give you issues. If it's been really hot at some period, it's been in that heat, and give you issues. Not as much as it getting cold and damp. If it's been open at all, or it's got any kind of hole in it, forget it. Probably go off like a rocket. Yeah, if there's 10 bags, 100 quid, yeah, or you can, if you're buying it and it's that off, you can get it cheaper. So you could argue it can be hit and miss, but I've just generally found that when I have used old finish, and if I'm honest with you, I've only realised how old it was when I've looked at the bag when I'm putting it in the bin, and I think, wow, that's old, and I've had no problem with it at all. If you're concerned, you stick some extra time in it, even if it's gone off, the extra time will probably give it its normal shelf life back, if not longer, as it normally does. So you're not trying to rush a job, and you've got gear that might be that's old, and you're concerned it might go off, then stick a packet of extra time in it. That will, if it was to the extent where it would have gone off quick, extra time will bring it back to where it should be. If it hasn't gone off and there's nothing wrong with it, even though it's 3 months or more past its sell-by date, and you put extra time in it, be prepared for it to take at least an hour longer for it to go off. Hopefully that helps you out. So if you can get multi-finish cheap, and because it's past its sell-by date, then I would recommend then splashing out a little bit on some extra time and shoving that in. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Is that not what I just said, mate? Stick some extra time in it. Bob's your uncle. It was going to go off. Now it won't go off quickly. and if it wasn't going to go off, then you just got more longer to play with it. But you've saved the money on getting some nice cheap old multi-finish, and also keeping the customer happy. Depends if the customers sort of got it, so you don't have to pay for it. Yeah, but again, like Mike says, if you stick some extra time in it, won't be a problem. They'll either go off at its normal speed, or you'll have to wait for it. But that's better than it going off like a rocket. If you put on something fairly big, and you're hoping it wouldn't go off like a rocket. Yes. Right. Guys, been having so much fun. I didn't realise it's already gone half 8, which is lovely when you can keep nice and busy, have a right long good old chat, and it's time to go. So, without further ado, just want to thank everybody. Cheers, guys, for coming along. Oh, Tara, what was that? Oh, it was you, Tara, that said that. Sorry, Don, I only just clogged. I hope that helps, darling. And we'll, yeah. Everything I just said about putting extra time in it is definitely the way to go. Right, so thanks Jay, thanks Jamie, Tara, Jeff, Mark, everybody, Richard, everybody else that knows me and comes along. Again, guys, thanks for coming along to the community, the old Horton Trail community boozer, because it would be boring without you. I'll tell you that for nothing. Right, should we have a bit of the old outro? I'll see you in a fortnight's time, or I'll see you on Trail Talk. We'll see you. That's a bit early to say. We'll see you in Edinburgh because it's still a little while away, but it's drawing closer. Really looking forward to that. That should be fantastic. And what else? Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you on Trail Talk. I'll see you on Ask the Plasterer forum, which there's links to in my videos, or if you can find the videos that's got the links in, and click on the link for the old Ask the Plasterer forum and Discord forum, and you'll get an invite to join me and the guys on there. I will see you at Ask the Plasterer in a fortnight's time. Also, for those that don't know, this goes out as a podcast a day or so after tonight. This will be available straight away, more or less, as a video when the live stream finishes. And and as ever, guys and girls, thanks for coming along. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And I will do that video on the SBR. So look forward to that. All right. Cheers, guys. See you, girls. See you soon.